I think of UNCG, I think of my students, my colleagues, and the people around me. And that means being around a lot of really exceptional colleagues and bright people who work really hard. I feel like we're in one of the most vibrant and resilient communities in higher education, and I look at my colleagues and I'm honored to work with them.
I think a good teacher is one that is constantly working at improving the instruction in the classroom. One of the phrases that I like to use is infectious enthusiasm and passion for the topic, and hopefully that will wear off onto the students.
UNCG is a very good place in which to carry out this kind of research. In fact, I had not expected it to be so good as it is, insofar as the philosophy department does not have a graduate program, and I had expected perhaps the emphasis to be on teaching rather than research. But luckily it's been on teaching and research, and the fact that that is the case has left me the opportunity to pursue my research pretty much as I've wanted to do it.
Undergraduate research has multiple beneficial outcomes. One is the transformation of the students, the other are original research findings. I see in my students that they are transforming into scientists that want to go on to graduate school or to professional schools. And sometimes in the beginning they come in with very little idea what they want to do in life.
Assessment is vital to making sure that we have effective programs that we're able to deliver for our students and for the society that they're going to be working with. And it holds us accountable as faculty, as a program, to making sure we're meeting those needs.
We have to be able to see whether we are doing the things that really matter. And I think the only way you can do that is to be able to do an assessment, because a lot of the type of activities we do get into a lot of minutia. And what we're attempting to do is to break away from the minutia and see the broad picture.
Less than 20% of public schools offer string instruction, and string instruction can be very expensive. So if your school district doesn't offer string programs, it immediately creates inequity and a social justice issue that really needs to be corrected. If music is for all children, then it should be available to all children.
A lot of my students are interested in making a real difference in the world by helping the honeybee health crisis. And we're trying to figure out why honeybees are dying and trying to come up with management strategies so that we ensure pollinator health and food safety.
I try to figure out some basic questions having to do with these relations between the moral concepts on the one hand and our nature on the other.
I enjoy the work that I do because it allows me to work collaboratively with faculty who are heavily invested in our students' learning, and it allows us to produce more engaged and more employable graduates.
What piques my interest is the ability to continuously improve courses and to continuously improve the curriculum as a whole and the program in order to make the students the most prepared for the outside world and for business.
I want to teach in a way that is as effective as possible, and I want to teach my students how to become teachers that are effective. And I think the avenue to that is through looking at best practices. Knowledge is ever changing and evolving, and to stay at the front of that, we need to use research to find out the answers to questions.
UNCG has a traditional strength in undergraduate mentoring. I think undergrad mentoring combines really the research, the teaching, and the service part together, so I see it as a very integrative activity, and I can only hope that it continues.
I think one of the things too, as far as teaching, is to have respect for the student and to listen to what the student is saying. Whenever you talk with the student, make sure you devote 100% of your attention to that student. And learning goes both ways. I learn a lot from my students, and hopefully they learn a lot from me.
So I would just like to thank my colleagues who nominated me for this award, my administration, and my students. I feel very honored to have been acknowledged in this way.
I would sincerely like to thank Craig Cashwell and Rick Lick for putting me up for this award. I have a lot of great colleagues both in the Educational Research Methodology Department and in the School of Education. And it's a wonderful group. They've been very, very supportive.
Philosophy is in many ways a solitary enterprise, but it certainly cannot take place you cannot just do it on your own. It requires the support of all sorts of people. And I have been lucky to receive that, as I say, within and without the university, all of which I'm very grateful.
I want to say thank you to all of the faculty in the Department of Public Health, more specifically to the members of the Undergraduate Program Committee who work tirelessly to ensure that we are meeting our student learning objectives and that we are making the best learning experience for our students. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the faculty in the finance area of the Department of Accounting and Finance for all of their support to making this award possible. And in particular, I'd like to thank Melissa Hirschberger, who has spent many hours and has worked very hard to make this assessment successful. Thank you very much.
I would like to, first of all, thank my students who have made this progress possible and all the research and hard work. I would like to thank the bees who have sacrificed numerous lives for our research. And then the nominating committee and selection committee, thank you for nominating me.